A lot of my friends play tabletop role-playing games like Dungeons and Dragons, Pathfinder, Cyberpunk, but it wasn't something I considered playing myself because it seemed really intimidating to get started. There's a lot of rules to learn, and it's like a huge time commitment. But recently I played a couple games with my friends, and I realized there's something super special about getting a group of people together and making up a story as you go. So today we're going to talk about what tabletop role-playing games are and why it's something you might want to consider playing yourself. Hi, I'm Jess, and this is Crafting a Community.
So, what are tabletop role playing games? Tabletop role playing games come in such a wide variety of genres and rule sets and all kinds of different systems, but generally, you gather a small group of people, whether that's online or in person, and one person's usually the game master. They're the person who controls the rules and who builds out the universe and lays the story ahead for all the other players. They control the non playable characters and really bring the story to life. Then each player will create their own characters and control their actions by telling the game master exactly what they want to do. There's usually some form of luck involved, whether that's through dice rolls or cards or any other kind of system, to see if your actions actually succeed or fail or not. And chaos will ensue. This is a game that takes place in shared imagination space, so it's hard to predict exactly what will happen. Your character can do anything, but so can anyone else's. So it's really coming together to tell a story.
Yeah, ultimately, you get together with friends or just like-minded people that want to participate in the same activity. And at the end of the night or afternoon, everyone goes home with a truly unique story that they had a hand in cultivating. And perhaps in competitive sports, you could draw a parallel that you might create the same sort of thing. But it's hard. I think it would be truly difficult to find that anywhere else. And so, yeah, that's what keeps me coming back again and again and again. Is like, even if I think I know what's going to happen, I am enamored with the actual outcome every single time.
You have a human on the other side. It's not just a pre-written algorithm deciding, if you do this thing, then this. It's, if I propose this insane course of action to this person at the other side of the table, how will that person say, yes, and, right? There's a very, improvisational thing that I think is lacking in video games and whatnot, but is very present as a part of the tabletop experience.
Well, as a player, you have your party that you're a part of, and you get like just little snippets of the world around you, and you have to ask the DM what's going on, and the DM slowly fills in all the blanks and colors all the everything around the environment around you, and together you sort of like wade through the fog to try to solve the problems that arise. And as a DM, you have the whole picture in place. You know what it all looks like, but the fog is what are your players going to do? You know, how are they going to try to interact with your world? How are they going to try to break your world? How are they going to... And so you're both dealing with a fog. It's just a different kind.
Ship D&D came about after I spent 20-something years of my life hearing about Dungeons and Dragons and other tabletop role-playing games as being a thing, but they always kind of felt like the kind of thing that they were this far away. There was like you had to know someone who could run the game, who could make you part of the club. I always felt like there was like I didn't know anything about it. I'd heard about it, knew you needed to know someone to run the game. I didn't know all you had to do was buy a book and read the book and then get your friends to come to your house and you rolled some dice and that was it. So when I learned about the game and finally was introduced to it, I figured it was probably a good idea to try to like remove those barriers that I had in my brain so that other people could get into the game and see that like this is the best type of game, you know. So I decided I would start this thing. At the time, the ship had a games night that was going on Mondays, and I figured this could be a good little like piggyback, like offer that as an option. And a couple months in, the games night disappeared because the person who was in charge of it stopped working there, but they wanted to keep this D&D night going. So I said, sure, why not? And it's basically just show up with a willingness to cooperate in collective storytelling, and I'll bring pencils, I'll bring characters, I'll bring dice for you to use. You can all you have to do is show up. All you have to do is show up and want to try to play the game. And we try to provide a barrier-free introduction to what tabletop role-playing looks like, how it works, in a very like a very small, very modified sense. It's not the like overarching campaigns that'll go for years at a time. It's one-shots condensed into the night. You grab a character and you start and finish an adventure in as much time as you're there.
If it wasn't for me knowing Eric and Eric being like such a rad human, I wouldn't have done it. Because I would have been like, nope, I don't know what I'm gonna do. People are gonna make fun of me. I'm gonna ruin the game because I don't know what I'm doing. And I think I may have had a couple of beverages and said that to Eric, and he went, "Bud, just come try it out." And I went, "Yeah." And that's what I've said to like other people when they said it. And I'm like, just come in. I'm like, what do you got to lose? Nothing. We're in our 30s. If you're not cool, like you're not going to get any less cool or any more cool. You're going to get more cool, actually, probably. By going in.
I think so.
I 100%
That's what I tell myself.
I 100% do. And also too, like social like aspects, like it gets people out of their bubble.
And I meet new people every night.
Yeah.
You know? Like, as much as it would be cool to have a campaign that like kept running, and I think that that's probably where this is going to go as it keeps going, it's nice to meet new people every night.
And people that you wouldn't probably have met because they're from different
totally different stripes of life.
Yeah.
If you feel intimidated because there's like a wall, or just like it seems like there's so many rules and you got to know this and you got to know that. My experience has been that everyone that really loves the game loves helping new players. And they love bringing new players in. They love being able to almost like, what's the word? experience it afresh through their eyes again, vicariously, living vicariously through their experience. And so if you are concerned, there might be some gatekeepers out there, but you don't have to worry about that because there's plenty of people, the vast majority of people who are already within the community, extremely loving, extremely caring, and extremely accepting of people who want to join.
What a new person should expect from their first time at Ship D&D is a lot more jokes than you expect. It's not going to be Lord of the Rings. There's going to be a lot of fumbling your way around, and that's, I think, part of the magic of it. In fact, because like, sure, we always want to be like super heroic and do excellent jobs all the time, but like that does get boring after a while. And one of the things that I love about the tabletop format is that the dice tell you what happens. Even if you're the best of the best at this particular thing, you can still absolutely fail miserably, and those are always the most hilarious moments. So I think as a first timer at the ship, you need to expect to fail miserably but hilariously, and be open to having that be like an interesting part of the story of the night.
I would say to someone who is intimidated, or curious, or doesn't really know how to approach it, that, and I can relate to that. Like I was, and still am, a shy person. It's like, it's that even if you show up, as long as you are among people you either trust or you are willing to give it a try, like just be yourself. That works. Everyone will be accepting of that. So if you go for a whole session and don't interact, it's like maybe just a line here, a couple of attacks. It's like no one's going to look down on that. And then the next session, you'll be like, oh, okay, well, maybe I will, now that I've been thinking about it, I'll make some sort of clever maneuver here or there. And so you're entirely able to start small. It's like, no one needs to sort of show up and know what they're doing or lead a party into success. It's like, be the member that contributes as much as they can, as little as that is, and it'll still be a notable experience.
It's a really good time. You get to hang out with people who, it's non-judgmental, it's easygoing, the pace is set by you, you create your story.
You get to hang out at the ship.
Yeah, you can show up, you get to hang out at the ship, and you get to show up. I show up unprepared and get a prefabricated sheet every night. I might change that next month, but it took me 6 or 7 months to get there.
Yep.
So like, you can show up with a pencil.
You don't even need a pencil.
Like, dice supplied, pencil supplied, character sheet, notepad supplied.
Show up with a good attitude and be ready to have fun. It's basically all you need.
Totally, just show up with a smile.
Yep.
And that's how I showed up, and I've been here for 7 months in a row now.
And if you're nervous, again, like we said, don't be. Like, I was nervous as hell.
First night, the sit down, you're like, beep.
Yeah.
And just the people who are running the show, and Eric's running, Eric runs all of it, but he handpicks all the DMs, and so they all have the right attitude, and everybody who shows up is just taken care of. It's a really, really good time. And
you'd be silly not to come.
It's true.
See, we're all monsters. We're not allowed in taverns and the places where the heroes congregate, but y'all received a letter in the mail from the Slime Council.
Yes. Slime Council.
Slime Council is sick of being picked on by the traditional heroes and killed for XP and having their treasures looted, and so they wanted to assemble, say, a squad of monsters and non-traditional heroes to go visit. They have a mission. They have a mission.
Yes.
So y'all visit Slime Town and Sergeant Slime and the slime, I don't know, slime squad. So they want to partner up. So I guess pick a slime that speaks to you.
This is so hard.
It's a tough one.
Yeah. I don't feel like my color is so important to Archie. I love the one I picked.
Hi everybody. My name's Lenny. I've been a skeleton guard for about 5 days.
Hi, Lenny.
I lost my best friend Jimmy. He was a skeleton guard, and I'm just sick of mismanagement. And I just
It only took you 5 days to get there. Yeah. Must be pretty bad management.
We just had to defend the same room, and it was very clear that they're way stronger than us, and we are good in numbers. I'm good in numbers. I'm not good by myself. And anyway, I just like to remember Jimmy. This is his femur. It's the femur of fury. So this one's for Jimmy, guys. Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
I hit the rock as best and it flew. It was the most satisfying, beautiful thing I ever saw or did. And I immediately realized that this is a game. And I want to spread this game out to the people. The rock, it's called Club Rock.
You see it kind of like convulse a little bit.
Ooh.
Just
Right.
like a Cronenberg type, like flesh.
I guess, yeah, just the surface.
Like a meaty egg?
Yeah, meaty egg.
Okay, so it's a little more, it's got some give
Don't
to
you
it.
like that one?
Yeah.
No, I don't like that one. It's one of those, I can get behind that, yeah. So it's like a membrane
Yeah, but
sort of thing,
but when
rather than like
when-
a hard shell.
yeah, but when
Alright.
he had knocked his club against it, it did sound hollow. So you touching it, feel
Alright.
chromium.
So and I'm like,
Oh man, Guff, you gotta get in here, man.
I'm gonna
You might be
say
able to get right through it.
Open arm. I put my femur of fury away, and I just like into my I like just like put it. I kind of you just wedge it.
yeah,
between,
like,
like,
like
a
lowest
couple
rib,
of ribs.
yeah,
Yeah, a
exactly.
couple of ribs. So it's kind of like that. And then I kind of go up and I touch
Hip
it too.
bone, like rested in the hip bone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can take it out doing the brain up.
Yeah, it looks more permeable, like it's getting more translucent.
Jimmy too, come on. I'm trying to get the slime to come up.
They're really cowardly.
Yeah. Same thing.
I command the boot to float up and just dump Mr. Pippington. Mr. Pippington, let go!
Yeah.
I guess.
Let the boot just shake.
Yeah.
Slime is like, no!
They can rest into the heel, into the toe of the boot. And
I'm just gonna push it down on top of the egg. I'm gonna, outside, I'm gonna point to Bigfoot and point up and say, like, gesture, what's your word? Actually, let's go. Blow on, rhyme it, what's your word?
I'm going to I'm gonna pull out a little scrapbook that I just carry around with me of newspaper clippings of Bigfoot sightings.
Is that your equipment?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's all.
And I'm going to, and I'm gonna rip out individual letters from the headlines, and I'm gonna like lick it and then stick it on the glass, and I'm gonna spell out the word dream.
Absolutely.
Dream. Dream.
Yeah, okay, you're free.
Oh God.
That is a cod piece.
Yeah, that was really good.
Sausage gourmet cooking.
I kind of sit up. I realize nothing's changing. I'm still stuck in this thing, and I guess I have pretty, bony little fingers, and I'm like,
Spaghetti.
You're free.
All right. Slurp a spaghetti and then remove it with the inside sauce.
You sure it's in focus?
Absolutely.
Is the sound on?
No.
Okay.
Okay, so
spin that up, and I chuck it at him, and my fight ability, +9 is, not +9, 9 + 3 is 12.
Seems like you went all in on fighting. You gave yourself 9. I was like
9.
I'm gonna wear something so good.
okay, I think that hits.
12 hits.
Yep.
Damage is 4.
4. Okay.
And then I move 3, so that's okay. 1, so it's like 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is anyone on the other side of this block?
No.
Okay.
Open block.
4 or 5. You just can't end.
Oh, you can't end there.
Yeah.
All right.
So you could go here.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, that's cool.
And and you feel like little fingers daintily, carefully, sort of like, all right, when you move, I'm gonna push, and we're gonna get you across this gap, okay? All right. Should you count to 3? All right, I'll wait for you. All right. And I prep myself to push in order to, transfer some of my quickness enough to get him across the gap.
Okay.
Big foot, big turn.
All right. The nameless old one had it.
Obviously, I don't think everyone should homebrew their own version of a game, but I learned so much doing my experiment. Even though I failed at a bunch of things, the goal at the end of the night was to get my friends together and have a collaborative storytelling experience. So even if things didn't go exactly how I imagined, it was still so much fun. I think it's super hard in this day and age to get together at the same time, in the same place, with the same people, working together on the same things. But tabletop role-playing games give you a chance to create that shared experience with the people you love. And it gives you an opportunity to express yourself in a way that you might not be able to in your regular life. So if you're interested, just get out there and try it. Because never in a million years are you going to be able to predict what happens in that room with that specific group of people on that specific night. Until next time.